Welcome into the studio. I'm going to do a different video, something in Photoshop for a change, because I know lots of artists are trying to use it and they may struggle. So in this video I'm going to show you how I took this peregrine that I recently photographed and take it from this boring sky in just simple moves to this sky, and I'll show you a couple of ways of doing it, and one is really just one click. You're not going to believe it, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's get started. It's a very simple subject, simple sky, just a plain sky. There's lots of YouTube tutorials out there going to really complicated selections, how to cut around complicated shapes, but I just want to keep this one absolute basic, okay, just so you can get a feel of how easy some things can be in Photoshop. So I want to change this boring sky. Over on the right hand side I've got the layers. Okay, so I've got my layers selected. It says background at the moment. If I double click that and say OK, it'll select it as a new layer, and then I'm just going to right click it and duplicate layer. That just means I've got that original image on the bottom, layer 0, and I'm not touching that, so any alterations are going to be on top, and then I'll be able to show you the sky before and after as well. So with that layer 0 copy selected, I'm now going to go down to the object selection tool. Now it's 4 down in the layers here in the tools. If you don't see it like that, it could be another one that's selected. Okay, it could be any of these, but I'm just going to have the object selection tool selected, and then up the top here you can see select subject, and I'm just going to click that because this is a simple sky. I'll just click that, let Photoshop do a bit of thinking, and then you see it picked the bird up perfectly. Okay, so I'm just going to hover over that, right click and select layer via copy, and what you see here on the right hand side, if I untick the eye, the visibility on the bottom two, you see I've just got bird. Okay, it's not perfectly selected, but it's good enough to show you this tutorial. And now I'm just going to open up a image I've got of a sky. I'll go from that selection tool now and just pick the normal one at the top, the move tool. Okay, so this is a sky I just picked from Pixabay. I've opened that image, and I'm just going to left click, hold the sky and drag and drop it over here on the bird area, and then I'll get rid of this. Okay, so what I've got now, I've got the sky on the top layer, that cutout bird on the next layer down. Now the beauty of this method is I can then put that sky anywhere I want. Okay, I can select whatever part of it I like, and then I can just grab it, left click on this layer 2 and drop it below the bird, and watch what happens. Okay, there's the bird. Now the beauty of this way of doing it is that I can select that layer to the sky and just move it as I want. What do I want? Do I want it like that? Would I rather the bird to be more in the blue, perhaps like that? Or I can select the bird layer 1 and actually move that instead. Okay, so let's say I wanted it like that. Now what you would find with the real photograph is you wouldn't have the bird and the clouds all perfectly in focus. The clouds, because they're so far away, would be a little bit blurred at least. So if I select the cloud layer, layer 2, by having these on separate layers I can now apply any filters or whatever I want to the sky, and it won't affect the bird. So I could go, for instance, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then I can add a slight blur to it, or I could, you know, ramp that blur right up. But if I just want a slight blur, you see that looks more natural, more like it would in the photograph, and I can just OK that. It also means I could select the bird if I want, just by clicking it, and then I could do things with that. Perhaps I wanted to image adjust the levels. Okay, levels is like brightness in the shadows, brightness in the light, so I can put a bit more brightness in the bird. See, I can overdo it just so you can see what I'm doing. So I could bring the whites up a little lighter, I could bring the darks down a bit darker so you can go all the way. So you can play around with things like that and get it just as you want it. Okay, so that's a simple way of putting in a sky and then being able to adjust it on a simple subject like this. Okay, so what about an even easier way of doing it? Basically a one-click way of doing it. Well, Photoshop has gone so intelligent now with the latest few updates. I can now go edit, sky replacement. Okay, so I've just got my image with the peregrine falcon selected, and I'm just going to click one button, sky replacement, and then it's going to think about it. It's already thinking now what's going to be the subject, and there you go, one click, that's all I did, and we've put a sky in at the background. Now I can do all different things with this. I could adjust the brightness of the sky. Okay, so this is just now altering the sky and leaving the bird alone. So I can adjust the brightness of the sky, I could adjust the temperature of the sky, I can make it more blue, okay, like that. I quite like that. I could adjust the scale of the clouds, so I can make them really small, I can bring them up, bigger, like that. I could flip them. I could mess around with the lighting on the foreground as well and reduce it, so that's slightly adjusting the bird. Okay, the foreground is the bird. I could do a color adjustment, but it's only slight on the bird, you see? And then I could select any of these skies, so I can just one click and put a new sky in. Okay, a different sky. Let's have a look. So you just scroll down and go lots of different types of skies. Some will suit, some won't. So I could even put the sunset in. Now what you find is that some will look more natural like that. Others, the colours will start to affect the bird as well. Okay, so what you can then do is start messing with things like temperatures, foreground lighting, the brightness of the skies, you know, and start to try and make it look a bit more natural again. Okay, so there's loads of different things that I could now do. So I can adjust the colour then on the bird. But this is by far the easiest way to replace a sky, and there are lots of different ones in there. You can have like sunsets and stormy skies and lightning skies and all different things. Okay, so it's something to keep in mind. But what you need to know is that if I then put, say, that sky in and OK it, this is an easy one button replacement if that's what you want. Okay, so I've kept that really simple, and I'll do some more of these videos because I know lots of artists are actually interested in image adjusting in Photoshop, and I'll see you all on the next video real soon. Just wanted to quickly mention my Patreon channel for those looking for even more in-depth art instruction. It's packed full of pastel videos, oil videos as well, and those videos are being added to new ones every single month. I have videos for the complete beginner that have never done pastels or oils before with just limited supplies, and I take you from the very first blocking in all the way through to the final detailed drawings and paintings. I've also got some really unusual subjects as well, and in all of my videos I always take you through all the details. You see everything I do, how I create my work. But it's not just for beginners, it's also for novices, and I also show the best artwork that I've ever done as well. And this particular elephant video spans 6 hours, so you know you're going to see tons and tons of details, tips and techniques. And as mentioned, I've got lots of oil videos on there too, so there really is something for everybody, and you get access to hundreds of hours worth of videos for just $4. Now over 1,000 members strong. Hope to see you there soon.